Good evening and welcome to this first remote meeting of Wirral Strategic Applications Subcommittee. This committee was established by the Council in September as a subcommittee of the Planning Committee. My name's Stuart Kelly and I'm the chair of the committee. This meeting will be webcast and a record retained on the Council website. Can officers confirm that the webcast is on and the sound okay? Going through fine, thanks. For those people at home who are viewing the webcast, if you look above the meeting, you will see a resources tab. Select this and a link to the agenda will appear on the right-hand side. This will then enable you to open the agenda reports as PDF documents and follow the discussion. A reminder for members, keep your microphone muted and your camera off until called to speak. Ensure that the chat function is accessible to you. Indicate that you want to speak by typing your request into the chat function. Turn on your camera and microphone prior to speaking. Turn them off again when you are finished. And I need to just check all members are present and their equipment is working correctly. When I call your name, could you turn on your camera and then your microphone and confirm, please? So, George Davies.
George Davies here, present and correct you.
Thank you. Steve Foulkes.
Steve Foulkes, present and correct, thank you.
Kathy Hodson.
Kathy Hodson, present and correct.
Thanks. And Paul Stuart.
Councillor Paul Stuart, present.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have, these are the members present. Apologies for absence. I understand that Andrew Gardner has had a last minute issue to deal with and can't be present with us tonight. So we'll just record that as an apology for absence. Agenda item 2 then, members' declaration of interest. Members are asked to consider whether they have any disclosable pecuniary interests and or any other relevant interest in connection with any items on the agenda, and if so, to declare them and to state the nature of the interest. Just give that a sec. No? Okay, we'll move on. Agenda item 3 then is the appointment of vice chair. I'd like to just move then from the chair that Steve Foulkes be appointed vice chair for the remainder of the municipal year. Is there a seconder for that?
I'll second that, Stu.
Okay, thanks, George. Are there any other nominations? No? Okay, then I don't think we need a vote, do we? Can we take that by assent? I think so. Steve Hodson appointed vice chair. Agenda item number 4 then is the protocol for pre-application and pre-decision member engagement briefings. If we can ask Mr. Neil to introduce that report, please.
Thank you, Chair. This, in terms of this report, as members will recall, in October 2020, Planning Committee resolved to, I'm just moving my screen around. Foible to working in just a minute. Yeah. Forgive me, Chair. In October 2020, Planning Committee resolved, amongst other matters, to reserve some matters to itself, which would otherwise fall within the terms of reference of the Strategic Application Subcommittee. And the subcommittee be delegated the consideration of protocols and procedures to be adopted with regard to pre-application discussion arrangements. The terms of reference of this committee are set out at paragraph 5.1 of the report. And the matters agreed by Planning Committee in terms of the responsibilities of the committee and the subcommittee, respectively, are set out at paragraph 5.2 of this report. The draft protocol for pre-application and pre-decision member engagement briefing is attached to this report as Appendix 1. And the purpose of the protocol is to outline the process for developer engagement with members of this committee at the pre-application and pre-decision stage. And the process is solely for the types of development that are within the ambit of this committee, and that definition is set out within the report. Principally large-scale developments, significant applications by the council, significant departures with certain exceptions, and decisions that need to be referred to Secretary of State with some exceptions. So the involvement of members in the pre-application and application process is recognised nationally as best practice, and this has had recognition in the NPPF. So it's important that the process and procedures relating to member involvement in pre-application and pre-decision discussions are clearly understood. So it's appropriate that this committee adopts the protocols for governance for such discussions. So the recommended process, Chair, is that the pre-application and pre-decision discussions between the subcommittee and the developer would be in the form of an informal briefing, which may be instigated by a developer or a planning officer. The applicant will be able to give a presentation of the proposal, and members will have the opportunity to ask questions and seek clarification on the details of a proposal. The meeting will not enter into detailed negotiations with regard to any proposed application, and negotiation should be left for discussions between the applicant and officers. So it's important to note that the informal briefings, as recommended within the report, will not be a formal meeting of the Strategic Applications Subcommittee. And in addition to the informal private briefings, the developer stroke applicant will be strongly encouraged to undertake appropriate pre-application consultation with the public in accordance with the requirements of the Council's Statement of Community Involvement. The recommendation is that this subcommittee note the terms of reference of the subcommittee as approved by Council together with the matters agreed by Planning Committee on 15th of October 2020, and approves the protocol for pre-application and pre-decision member engagement briefings. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks for that. Any questions or comments from members after that? No, I'm just going to pop the recommendation into the chat box because I will. What's it called? Yeah. So that's in the chat box now, and I will move that as the resolution of the committee. Is there a seconder for that?
Happy to second, Stuart, rather than go on chat box. Yeah, formally seconded.
Thank you. Okay, so that's the resolution in front of us. No other members indicating they wish to ask a question or speak on that. Again, I think I might try and take this by assent. So if a member wishes a vote, they should indicate either in the chat box or by turning their microphone on and asking for a vote. By assent. By assent then. Okay, so that recommendation has been agreed.